Gardner-Webb head coach Cris Reisert team coming off a road victory over Eastern Illinois this week. Big matchup there at home. They got UT Martin in a key game. So, coach, just some general thoughts about your team, and we'll go to some questions.
Yeah, proud to get a road win. I think anytime you can do that in the conference against a quality opponent that had two conference wins, I think you're really proud of that. That said, a lot to clean up, a lot to improve upon. Thought we played a good 30 minutes of football and didn't quite finish the game. Maybe the way that we had hoped to finish the game, and so we've really got to kind of get back to the drawing board there and find ways to just do the little things better to play a full 60 minutes. But I'm proud of our guys for finding a way to go 1-0, and I thought it was a really quality win.
Let's talk about explosive plays. And obviously, Carson had two really big touchdown runs. But what are the keys with your line and blocking schemes and everything just to get some explosive plays for this offense?
Yeah, well, I mean, it all starts up front, right? Those guys either protecting or clearing up space on a run play, and they've done a tremendous job. All five of our linemen that have played the bulk of the time up front done a really good job. Andrew Threed, our left tackle, and Aaron McKeever, our left guard, and Luke Rector, our center, and C.J. Dawson, our right guard, and Will Fitzpatrick, our right tackle, and then Ahmad Carwise played a good bit too. And so those guys never get the name mentioned enough, so I always think it's important to shout them out. And they've done an awesome job. And then on Saturday, Carson, really did a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of the big plays, and we were able to get him in space where he had kind of one guy to make miss or two guys to make miss, and he's just a special back. And when you give him, an inch, he's going to take a mile, and he did that a couple times on Saturday.
Does it help since you use multiple people, Carson, Quaison, and Nate's run the ball? Does that help keep everybody fresh too, and helps a little bit with that, getting some explosives?
I think so. It's a physical league, it's a long year, and so you're playing 12 games, you're playing against really quality competition, and every week you're getting grinded on. And so I think at every position, being able to have depth is so pivotal, and not having to kind of run your guys in the dirt, so to speak. That depth is really important as you get into the back part of the season. And so being able to stay healthy and fresh is really a pivotal piece of being ready to play every Saturday.
Can let you spin this however you're inching closer to the coaches poll top 25. Like the respect is there. You're undefeated against FCS teams. Just talk about like sort of garner that respect from people. They're seeing what you're doing, I guess.
Yeah, I think anytime you're mentioned for things like that, you're appreciative and you're proud of that. But it's like we talk about as a team. Our confidence doesn't come from the way that we're perceived by others. It comes from the way that we work and the way that we kaizen and the way we attack each day with an edge. And so our group has always been a confident group because of the way that we focus on preparation and focus on our process. And whether we're one in the country, 29th in the country, 30th in the country, it's not going to change a whole lot because that's just an outside perception. And what really matters is how we move each day and finding a way to go 1-0 each day.
I think it would also matter probably that you got a zero behind your conference record, right? So keep the win and keep moving on. Now
We'll take them.
you got UT Martin, who you all have had some good games with, even before you got there in the association. Just talk about that kind of matchup.
Yeah, I mean they're the cream of the crop in the conference, right? So you're talking about a team that's won or been at the top of the conference. I mean, since I can remember, and so we certainly understand and respect the program they have and the tradition that's been built. And this team is no different. They're a really quality football team, and Coach Simpson does an awesome job, and so he and his staff prepare the guys each week. And schematically, I think they're really buttoned up, and I think they're really unique. And they do some things on both sides of the ball that kind of give you a pause and make you make sure that you're dotting your I's and crossing your T's and everything that you're doing. Personnel wise, certainly they have a lot of really quality, talented kids. And quarterback was player of the week in the conference last week. The running backs gotten hot, got some really dynamic wideouts. The offensive line is starting to gel and come together and playing really good ball. Defensively, the D line's playing at a high level. They've got some really quality linebackers that have great size and athleticism. And in the back end, I think they've got one of the best back ends in the conference for sure, if not the country. And so it's a really quality team. So like any week, in this conference, you got to play really well to win. And but we certainly know to beat a team of Tennessee Martin stature and in tradition, we got to play a really good football game. And so just locked in on us, focused on Gardner-Webb, and trying to control what we can, because we know we can't control how they play or what they look like or feel like. And we've just got to be able to isolate and play a really consistent football game.
You said earlier about, the end of your game and closing out, and in UT Martin's last game, they scored 2 touchdowns really late. What are the keys then for your team in closing out games and putting somebody away when you have them down?
Yeah, I think it's a mindset. I think it's a mindset where you can't want to rush to get to the end. You've got to enjoy the journey. And it's that way throughout the week, right? Do you enjoy the process of practice, of preparation, of meetings? Do you enjoy that, or are you such a hurry to get to Saturday and figure out what happens? And on Saturday, it's the same thing. Do you enjoy, right, minute 57 to 60, right? And you have to be present and be where your feet are in that moment without hope of getting to the end. And so we just have to stay focused in each play and not worry about what the result's going to be, because if you focus in each play and on that moment, the result's going to be what the result is, and it's going to be our best effort. So just trying to stay consistent with that. And we understand that against good football teams, there's ups and there's downs, and we can't flinch. We've got to be able to show great resolve, show togetherness, and we can't get frustrated when things don't go our way.
Well, we'll end it there, Coach. Appreciate your time. Best of luck in the game on Saturday, and we'll talk to you next week back on Tuesday.
Thanks, Kyle.